Okay guys, I'm going to teach us how to, as you can see the picture on your screen, I'm going to teach us how to make that the upper part of the overlap. The overlap you are seeing there, I'm going to teach us how to make it. As you can see, there is a pleat in there. You can also call it drape. So I'm going to make use of this formula called slash and spread method. Okay, so first of all, making that overlap dress, I mean the upper bodice, what you have to do is to first of all fold your fabric. Okay, so for you to fold your fabric, as you can see, since it's overlapping, you don't fold with the normal process. So you have to fold considering the what overlap and also the normal body measurement with its allowance. So to get the total material to fold, what are you going to do? How are you going to fold it? Okay, so I have this formula in order to get what to fold. And for you to really fold your material, I have this formula. So the formula is, since the overlap is going towards the underbust region, so we make use of underbust for the formula. Now the formula is the round underbust divided by 4 plus 2, which is 36 divided by 4 plus 2, which is going to give us 11. Now you add extra 13 to 15 inches to that 11. But for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'll be adding 13 inches. So now 11 plus 13 is going to give us 24 inches. So that is how you are going to fold, and that is exactly what you're going to fold. Okay, now since we've gotten 24, look at it. In order for you to fold, measure out your 24. Are you seeing it? Measure out your 24. When you measure it out, you mark it out. After you are done marking it out, the next thing you are going to do is to do what? You fold it out. Okay, so finally, as you can see, as you can see, what I have here in total is 24 inches. Please make sure, in order for you to really know what to fold, make sure you work with the formula. Make sure you work with the formula. After you are done folding, next thing you are going to do is to do separate the overlap from the normal body allowance. Now, so what do I mean? Now, I'm going to mark out the allowance for the overlap. Then after that, I'm going to do start marking out my measurement points on the other side. Now see what I'm going to do. Remember, with that formula, what we did is round underbust divided by 4 plus 2. Please, I would like you to know that this particular one you are seeing is for the overlap. Now, what did we get? We got 11 inches. So for you to really mark out your overlap, this is also the formula. The round underbust divided by 4 plus 2. Whatever you get, mark it out. So what we have here is 11 inches. So mark out your 11 inches. So you have to do mark it out straight, 11 inches. Where's that ruler? So after you are done marking it out, next thing you need to do is to do take your ruler and do connect. Okay, now after you are done connecting, as you can see, here is for the overlap and here is for the original body measurement. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is to do I'm going to mark out my measurement points, which are from measurement points are from shoulder, which is from here to the bust point, to the under bust length, and the half length. Okay, so marking out the measurement points, we start from the shoulder to the bust point. Now the bust point we have here is 12 inches. That is from shoulder to the nipple point. Okay, so mark out your bust point. Then next thing you are going to mark out is your the under bust length. That is from shoulder to the under bust, which we have here is 16 inches. Then finally, what you are going to mark out here is your half length. Half length. That is where the skate, whatever you are going to fix at the upper bodies, where it is going to start, which is 18 inches. So make sure you mark it out. Please, I would also like you to do add extra half or 1 inch allowance. This allowance actually helps you to do this allowance is for the joining. You use it to join the down part and the upper part. Okay, so now this 18 now, add extra 1 to it, making it 19 inches. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm also going to mark out those same measurement points here. Please, the reason why I'm marking it out is to make sure I get a straight line. Okay, so look at what I mean. With these particular 2 points, I can be able to place my rule and get a straight line. Okay, looking at it, you see that this is the only place that I'll be marking on. and I'm not marking on this part. Why? Because this is the overlap region. Why? This is the what? Where I'm going to put my what? Original measurement and everything. Okay, but I'm still also going to do what? I'm going to extend the what? Under bust point towards this side. I'm still going to do what? Extend the line to this side. Okay, I'm doing it with the dotted line just to show you that here is not part of our what? Original dress. Here is for the what? Only the what? Overlap. Okay, so I'm also going to extend it towards this side again. Okay, so after you finish doing that, as you can see, this side is for the what? Shoulder. Why this is for the what? The bust length. Why this is for the what? Under bust length. And this is for the what? Half length plus what? Allowance. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is what? I'm going to mark out my what? Shoulder. After that, I construct the what? Armhole. Okay, so to mark out the shoulder, as we know, the shoulder I have here is what? 16 inches. Okay, 16 inches divided by 2, which is the usual thing we usually divide with. 16 divided by 2 is what? 8 inches. Now, you shouldn't just mark 8 inches. You're supposed to add what? Extra half inch to 8. This half inch starts as the what? Same allowance for the what? Sleeve. That is what? 8 and a half. Okay, so that is what? The shoulder. Now, next thing you are going to do is what? Please always know that what I'm actually doing now is what? I'm constructing the what? Armhole. Please, I'm constructing the what? Armhole. Okay, but I want you to know that before you construct the armhole, you need to first of all slope your shoulder. We call it what? Shoulder slope. Okay, now after reeling out this line, for you to slope your shoulder, please use this method in order to what? Slope your shoulder. Now for female, I usually use what? From here, you step down with what? 1 inch. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is what? I'm going to mark out what I call the what? Standard neck width. Please, this is what I usually use in what? Slanting my what? Shoulder. Whoever I am making clothes for. Okay, whether you are big or small, I usually use it. Please, this standard neck width is not the neck width we are going to use for the what? For this dress. It is only for the what? Shoulder slant. That is what? Shoulder slope. Okay, so from here, as you all know, it is from here, not from here. Here it's for the what? Overlap. So mark out your what? 3 inches. Okay, after marking it out, then you now see this point here, and you also see this point here. So next thing you are going to do is to do what? You are going to slant or slope it. Now keep your rule like this and do what? Slant. Okay, so now we are done what? Sloping the what? Shoulder. Next thing we are going to do is to do what? Construct the what? Armhole. Now we construct the armhole using what we call the what? Armhole length. Now how do you get your armhole length? Now I have the simplest method. For you to get your armhole length, please make sure that whatever you have here as your shoulder plus allowance, please also use it down here. So in this case, what we have here is what? Our shoulder was what? Is what? 16 inches divided by 2 is what? 8 inches. Then we added half inch to it for what? Same allowance, making it what? 8 and a half. Please also make sure you take the same thing down here. Please, as you be placing, make sure you don't take your tape over here. It is what? After the slope. Okay, now mark out what? 8 and a half. Okay, after marking it out, next thing you are going to do is what? Take your rule and do what? Mark out a what? A horizontal line. This horizontal line is called the what? Armhole base. Okay, still on constructing the armhole. Next thing we are going to do is to do what? Effect what we call the what? Armhole curve. We all know that the armhole usually have a curve. So how do we get this curve? Okay, in order for you to get this curve, please, from here, are you seeing it? From this point, what you are going to do is to do, place your tape diagonally, making sure that what? You mark out what? 1 inch. Please do this whenever you want to do what? Get any curve, especially the armhole, the round neck and other things. Okay, so after you've gotten this point here, are you seeing it? From here to here is what? 1 inch. Next thing you are going to do is to do what? Now draw the curve. Make sure you are passing through that what? 1 inch. As you can see, we've constructed the what? The armhole. So next thing you are going to do is what? Put what we call armhole effect. Now this armhole effect, it has a function. The function of armhole effect is to make sure that when you wear a dress, the armhole region relaxes very well. We all know that sometimes when you wear a dress, you notice that the armhole region is puffing or is very, very rumpled. Do you understand? It's not relaxed. So in order to make a dress that the armhole region will relax, you add what we call the what? The armhole effect. Now, how do we do this armhole effect? You do it by taking the what? Armhole length. As you can see, what we have here as armhole length is what? From here to here is what? 8 and a half. Now divide it by 2. What you are going to get is what? 4 1/4. Are you seeing it? So at this point, what you are going to do is what? Place your tape here and step in by what, half inch or what, 3/4 inch. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'll be making use of what, half inch. Now mark it like this. As you can see, we have this point and or this point. Now next thing you are going to do is to do what, curve it out. Please, you can make use of your what, French curve, your armhole curve, your hip curve, even your free hand. But for the sake of this class, I'll be making use of my what, free hand. Okay, now look at it. Okay, are you seeing it? So next thing I need to let you know is that when you are cutting out this particular dress, please, I want you to know that armhole effect is only applied in front of a dress, not at the back. So what do I mean by that? When you be cutting this thing out, please, I want you to first of all cut out the what, original one. Then after you finish cutting everything, next thing you are going to do what, separate the front from the back, then cut this one out, only what, on the front. Okay, so now we are done with the what, armhole construction. Next thing I'm going to do is what, we are going to impute our body measurement. Okay, so for us to impute our body measurement, our round bust is what, 41 inches, round under bust is what, 36 inches. Okay, so we are going to use that measurement and impute it on this very point. Okay, so 41 inches divided by 4 is going to give us what, 41 inches divided by 4 is going to give us what, 10/1/4. So place it here, mark out your what, 10/1/4. If you are going to add your allowance, please, the minimum allowance you add is what, 2 inches. You can also add more than 2 inches depending on whether you are adding that or not. Okay, so next thing you are also going to do is what, do the same thing at the what, under bust. The under bust, which is what, 36 inches divided by 4 is what, 9 inches. So mark out your 9 inches. Please also make sure you do what, add your extra 2 inches allowance. Please, is necessary. Now at the what, half length, please, you can actually measure the half length out, or you can also use this method. Whatever you use at the under bust, please make sure you use the same thing at the what, half length. Now the under bust was what, 36 divided by 4, which is what, 9 inches, then plus what, extra 2 inches allowance. Now you've gotten all these points. What are you going to do next? You are going to make sure you do what, you join it out, thereby forming the what, the shape of the dress. So in order to join it out, I'll be making use of my what, free hand. Okay, as you can see, I'm done what, joining, I'm done what, shaping out the what, the body. So next thing we are going to do is to do what, we are going to what, construct the what, the neck. Okay, in order to construct the neck, what are we going to do? Now look at it. We are going to construct the neck using what we call the what, the neck width and the what, neck depth. We use it to form what we call the what, totally neck block. Okay, now look at it. The neck width I'm going to use for this dress is what, I'm going to use 5 inches for the what, neck width. Okay, now 5 inches from here to here, mark out your what, 5 inches. Please, I advise you can use any neck width that you want. Please, I also need you to know that neck width must be what, must be proportional to the what, neck depth, else it will look somehow awkward. Okay, 5 inches as the neck width. Now the neck depth is what, look at it, the neck depth from here, what I'm going to use is what, is 6 inches. Okay, from here, are you seeing it? From here to here is what, 6 inches. So in that case, we have this point, which is a what, 5 inches from here to here. We have from here to here, which is what, 6 inches. So now we are going to make sure we do what, connect this. Now how are we going to connect it? From here, we are going to connect directly towards this. Now, assuming you are making an ordinary overlap without that plate on the dress, are you seeing it? Assuming you are making an ordinary overlap, what are you going to do? You are going to connect this thing. Look at what you are going to do. Connect this thing from here directly to the what, under bust. Are you seeing it? Okay, but for the sake of this particular tutorial and for the sake of what we are actually making, which is the what, this overlap with the what, that pleating you are seeing there. Okay, so what are you going to do? Please, I want you to make sure you do what, make sure you increase this side. Are you seeing it? Increase it. So how do you increase it? You can increase it by making sure you do what, step up by what, 2 from the under bust. Are you seeing it? You can increase it. Okay, you can as well use it exactly as it is here, or increase more than what, 2 inches. But for the sake of this class, I'll be making use of what, 2 inches. So that means I'll be connecting from here down to the what, 2 inches. Okay, so let's do it. Please, you can make use of your rule or your what, free hand. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, I'm done with it. So this is how to make this overlap. So what is the final thing remaining is to do what? Apply that pleat you are seeing there. Why I'm calling it pleating is because I want everybody to really understand. All these things has their own special names, but I usually like to use terminologies that everybody will understand. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is to do what? Use your pin and pin it. Then after pinning it, make sure you do what? Cut it out. Remember what I said? When you are cutting it, first of all, cut out this particular one from the original point. Are you seeing it? Then it is when you finish using the front to trace your part, that's when you now come and do what? Cut off this particular part on the front only. Okay, then the final thing, please make sure you do what? Notch out this particular point. This is to enable you whenever you want to what? Place two of them together in order to form the total what? Overlap. It makes it possible for you to do that. Also do the same thing here, notch out on this particular line. As you can see, what I actually told us, here is for the what? Overlap, and here is for the what? The normal body. Okay. Okay guys, what we are going to do now is to apply the plate. Now look at it very well. You notice that the plate is exactly before the what? That. Okay, but before we continue, now there's something I'm going to do. Now on your own, you are going to mark out exactly where you want your plate to start. Do you understand? Now for me, I want my plate to start at this very point. Now look at it very well. From here, measure outward 1.5. Then notch it out. Are you seeing it? From here, measure outward 1.5. Then notch it out. Are you seeing it? Then mark it out. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is to do what? Take your rule and do what? Connect in order to get a straight line. Now connect to this very point. For me, this is the point which I want my own to stop. Now look at the picture very well. You notice that one is stopping what before the that, and exactly my own is also stopping what before the that. But if you want to extend yours, you can as well do that. Now, but let's continue. Now, really down. Are you seeing it? Now on my second one, I'll have to also do what? Really down. Are you seeing it? I say I really need down. Please, I want you to stop here. Are you seeing it? So now next thing you are going to do, like I said, we are going to be using what? The slash and the spread method. Now I'm going to be showing you this my own techniques. This is my own tricks. Okay, now look at it very well. Now before you start spreading, you need to do a slash. Okay, but that slash, you see how I'm going to do my own. Wherever point that you want your own to stop, that's the place you first of all slash. Now look at what I'll be doing now. First of all, I'll be slashing here. Are you seeing it? I'll be slashing here from here to the what? Boss line. Now look at it. From here to the what? Boss line. Are you seeing it? I've actually slashed it. Now there is also this technique. You can also use your what? Dart. Most people use their dart, but for me, for the sake of this tutorial and for the sake of the design that we are making, I'll be making use of this very point. Now you're seeing it, I've actually done what? Slashed it. Okay, next thing we are going to do, please, which is very, very important, because if we did not slash here, there is no way we go over to the what? Second step. Now the second step is what? We are also going to do what? Slash these very points. Now look at it. Let's slash these very points. As you are slashing it, make sure you don't cut it off. You understand? Make sure you remain a little, but almost nothing. But please make sure you don't do what? Cut it off. Okay, I'm done with this very point. Like I said, also this particular one, cut it out. Now make sure you don't do what? Totally what? Cut it out. Let it remain. As you can see, this one is remaining a little bit. Okay. Also do the same thing to this very point. Carefully slash, making sure you don't totally cut it off. Okay, as you can see, I'm done. Are you seeing it? As you can see, I'm done. Okay, so next thing we are going to do is to do what? Now, you have your masking tape. Are you seeing it? You have your masking tape. So please, I want you to make sure you do what? Spread it out. Now, as you can see, look at it very well. This is this point. Are you seeing it? So what I'll be doing now, look at it very well. I'll be spreading it. Now, in order to spread it, you notice that this one is actually what? Going in. So please leave it like that. So let's say the dart that I want, that is the pleat that I want. I don't need much spreading. Do you understand? So the pleat that I want, from here to here is supposed to be what? A matter of what? 2 inches. Are you seeing it? From here to here is what? 2 inches. So in that case, what I will do is to what? Immediately use my what? Masking tape and do what? Hold these very points. Are you seeing it? That is what I will do. Now look at it. This one is also going to be what? Done what? This one is also going to be done what? Spread. Are you seeing it? So look at it. Please, when you are spreading it, make sure that whichever space that is here is the same that is here. Are you seeing it? Okay, so as you are seeing it now, it is now okay. So next thing we are going to do is what? We are going to take another paper and place at the what? Bottom part. Do you understand? We are going to place under. The next thing we are also going to do is to do what? Use our masking tape and hold it in order to make this space firm, so as for it not to be what? Shaking like this. So as you can see, I've actually placed another paper beneath this one. The reason for this paper placed under is to make sure that it is held firm. Okay, now look at it. Now also take your what? Masking tape and now start holding it. Look at it very well. Please make sure, like I said, make sure that the distance between here and here is what? Equal. Okay, now please, after that, next thing you are going to do, look at next thing you are going to do. This part is very, very important. So first of all, you're going to cut this off in order to get the shape of the original bodice. Okay, are you seeing it? Now make sure you also cut this one off too. Okay, so now before we continue, please you also make sure that the piece, if there's excess, you now do what? Cut it off at the back. But as you can see, there's no excess, so I'll be using my masking tape to hold it firm. Please make sure you're using masking tape not exactly on that slash line, but before it or after it, not on that slash line. Okay, so as you can see, we're almost done. So next thing we are also going to do is what? Look at it very well. Now, the secret is that I've finished cutting out every part. Are you seeing it? But for me personally, I will not cut off this very part. Now, let's continue. Next thing we are going to do is what? You are going to, look at it, you are going to put it back together again before what? Cutting off this very part. Now, you are going to put it back together again. Now, look at how I'm going to put it back together. Now, look at it. This is more like you will be doing the pleating now. Are you seeing it? Okay, I'm trying to do what? Put it together. Okay, are you seeing it? So immediately you pleat this one, please, I want you to do what? Use your masking tape and do what? Also hold it. Do the same thing to the second one. Please make sure everything is relaxed and okay. Also do the same thing to this very one. From here, are you seeing it? From this very part, are you seeing it? Do as if you are pleating it. Are you seeing it? Then what else do you do? Now look at it very well. Please, as you are folding, make sure that you are folding it equally. Are you seeing it? This is the center part. Are you seeing it? Make sure you are folding it. Are you seeing it? So from here, pleat it, making sure that what you are folding from the what? Look at it from the center. Okay, make sure that it is actually touching this very one. Okay. Okay, now are you seeing it? Please, this is folding like this because it's actually what? A paper. When you do it on a material, it's not going to what? Fold like this. Okay. Now look at, are you seeing it? Now you will notice that not every parts are equal. So what you are going to do for me is to do what? Make sure you make all of them equal. Now look at what I'm going to be doing now. Are you seeing it? I'll be cutting using the what? The highest one. Now look at, are you seeing it? Okay, so this is it. So when immediately you finish this one, next thing you are going to do is to do what? Now look at, immediately you finish this one, remove the what? Masking tape on this one in order to do what? Separate it back again. Are you seeing it? I've expanded it. So you can see this is the shape you are seeing here. So finally, I want you to do what? Take this and place it on your what? Plain material and they cut off. But before you do that, I always want you to know this. Are you seeing it? Look at this very point. Are you seeing this point? This point where the pleating is starting. Now look at the middle. Make sure you do what? Mark them. Both the middle part. Now after you finish marking them, please don't forget to do what? Notch with your what? Scissors. This actually helps you on the fabric to what? Fold when you've what? Cut it off. Please don't miss this step. Okay, so like I said, next thing you are going to be doing is what? Take it and do what? Place on your fabric and do what? Cut it off. Okay, but I will still be showing you guys how I cut it off on the fabric. Okay, as you can see, I am done with the word plating. Now look at it. Let me release this and show you guys. This was how it was. Are you seeing it? So now you now do what? Split it back. Okay, so this is how to produce that style you just saw there. Okay, now after you are done cutting out the front, next thing for you to do is to do what? Cut out the back. So it's very simple. Okay, so what do we do? As you can see, look at this now. So all you need to do is what? Look at this. Are you seeing it? This is what we use in forming our what? Front part. Okay, next thing you're going to do is to do what? Please, since this is the center, just try and do what? Fold it out. Are you seeing it? Fold the center out. Now when you fold the center out, now you'll be having something like this. Are you seeing it? We're having something like this. So after you are done doing this, next thing you need to do is to do what? Get your paper and what? Fold. Or your material and fold. Okay, fold it so that it can be able to do what? Accommodate this one that you've actually what? Folded. So as you can see, after I'm done folding it, see, I want you to notice something. Fold it in such a way that it will be what? 2 inches wider than this one. These 2 inches we are talking about is for the what? Zipper allowance. Now look at what I mean. Now mark out your what? Zipper allowance. Mark it out. Like I said, this 2 inches is for the what? The zipper allowance. Okay, for the zip allowance. Now mark it out. Take your rule and do what? Connect. Now after you are done connecting, next thing you need to do is to do what? Take this one and place. Okay, after placing it, what next are you going to do? Use your pin and do what? Hold it firm. Okay, now as you can see, I'm done now. As you can see, I placed it very well. So next thing we are going to do is to do what? Now, we are going to construct the neck of the what? The back neck. Okay, so how are you going to do it? Okay, now look at this. Are you seeing it? Let's say the back neck is starting from here. Are you seeing it? See the line? So next thing you are going to do is what? The back neck is not going to have this particular neck. Else, if you really want yours to have this particular neck, but most cases, usually what? A high back neck. What do we mean by high? Look at it. From here to here is what? Either 1.5 or what? 2 inches. Okay, but for the sake of this tutorial, let's use what? 2 inches. Now, since the back neck is from here, next thing you are going to do is what? Connect it like this. Look at it. From here, are you seeing it? Connect it to this very side. Now, after you are done, are you seeing it? Please extend it to the what? Zipper allowance. After you are done, next thing you are going to do is to do what? Use your scissors and do what? Cut it off. Cut off the shape. Okay. Cut the back. Now, if you want to add what I call the what? The back zip effect. Now, what is this back zip effect? Whenever you put it on a cloth, it helps the cloth to relax very well at the back, avoiding all this what? Puffing. Sometimes you normally notice when somebody is wearing a cloth, you notice that the back is what? Puffing around that zip area. So in order to silence that puff, what are we going to do? Now I have to what? This is the underbutt. Extend the what? The line. Now next thing you need to do is what? Look at it. Next thing you need to do is from here, step in by what? Half inch or 3/4. But for the sake of this class, I'm stepping in by what? Half inch. Do also the same thing here. Now next thing you need to do is to do what? Make sure you connect these two. Then now, take your rule and do this, please. You have to place it like this, as if you're making a dart. Are you seeing it? So gradually take it up. Are you seeing it? So that it will end like this. So this is it. So next thing you're going to do is to do what? Take your scissors and what? Cut it off. So as you can see, this is how to what? Cut off the what? Both the front and the what? The back part. Now finally, remember what I told us. Immediately you are done, you have to observe this what? Armhole effect. Now this is now the time for what? To remove the what? Armhole effect you did in front. Are you seeing it? Okay, now you have to what? Remove it. Okay, so thank you very much. Please, if you love this tutorial, please, I want you to make sure you hit on that subscribe button. Please make sure you what? Click on that thumbs up. Make sure you like this video. It is very, very important for us. In fact, the more you like this video, please, I promise to do the complete video for you guys. If I see enough like, I will now be pushed to do what? A complete video showing you guys how to even what? Produce the complete package. Now, what do I mean by complete package? Look at the image. You see the damn part, that kind of overlapping, those designs. I'll be able to teach you guys that. Thank you and may God bless you.